Hey, how's it going? Hey, Coach D here. Hold on, let me finish this text. Okay, good. How many of you look like that almost all day long? Particularly your younger generation. Here today to talk about why texting neck is probably one of the biggest physical, mental issues that we will experience in the coming decades. There's very little information, although there is some coming out related to texting neck, and that's what we'll talk about. And as mountain bikers, it's actually horrible for us, as well as all other athletes and everybody in general, particularly kids. If you have kids, you must change their habits or they will have serious issues in their upper quarter of their body, including their brain and its ability to develop. So texting neck, horrible. And here's why. So here's our mountain biker slash spine slash big rock hanging off the edge of the cliff, okay? And that represents this right here, okay? Just like I'm standing, all right? So we got the muscles in the back of the neck that go down, and a lot of them attach onto the upper part of our thorax. We've also got our anterior neck muscles, which are these guys. So we've got the back neck muscles, front neck muscles. When we have forward head carriage, and let's go back a few decade maybe, what we dealt with and always talked about with our clients is poor posture as we sit at our workstations, rounded shoulder, forward head, and that kind of thing. But now it's even worse, and the multiplication factor is even greater because now we've dropped our head in that position even more. So that is analogous, almost like this guy trying to hold this big boulder with a rope. But guess what? We know as that, where's my marker? We know as that boulder goes closer and closer to the edge that it's going to be much harder, much harder, much harder for him to hold on to it. Well, your muscles are acting the same way in your body, okay? Where these guys, these back muscles, these muscles that attach to the back of your head and go down to your thorax are now on this big long tension here, and your brain's like, dude, what are you doing with your head? You got to get your head back on top of your shoulders. So those muscles are really contracted and tight and become very dense. That dowager hump that you see on people sometimes, all that is collagenous tissue, because the brain's like, my muscles are so tired from holding my head up in space, now I have to lay down this big collagenous tissue, almost like a piece of cement, to help hold my head from going further down. The other thing is, on the opposite side, are these neck muscles get tighter and tighter and tighter in the front, all right? We call that an upper cross syndrome, where the rib cage, so here's my first rib, my sternum, that is unsteep, we call it. This is a steep first rib or sternum angle, and you can see how my shoulders are rounded. And when I did that, watch automatically what happens to my head. My head drops forward onto it. Now, with the texting, so this is kind of normal. Now with texting, it's even worse. So there's even more stress than there was with just the ordinary stuff that we were dealing with at the workstation. And we don't even know what the exponential stress of texting neck is. It's probably 10 to 20 times worse, maybe even more than that, I'm not sure. Because even with regular forward head carriage, you're looking to decrease nerve flow and blood flow to your brain, which is, we know is hugely important, by 3 to 5%, something like that, per inch of forward head carriage. So for every inch that my head goes forward and now arguably downward, who knows what that's going to do to increase that 3 to 5%. Maybe it's 5 to 8 to 10, I don't know, right? We won't know until somebody actually does the research on it. But think about that. I don't know about you, but I need as much blood to go to my brain as I can get. So having 3 to 5% decrease of nerve flow and blood flow to my brain doesn't make D smarter, that is for sure. So all of this just creates chronic neck, shoulder pain, chronic anterior pain. What you'll get is you can get a lot of clicking and popping, TMJ issues, any kind of sleep apnea, all of this comes into play. Your chewing, for example. Remember, chewing is the first part of your digestive system. When you eat something, your saliva mixes with that. That's your first part of your digestive system. So if your salivary glands can't work as well because of extreme forward head carriage due to overtexting, you could have automatic digestion issues right from the get-go. Now, that doesn't even take into consideration that when I'm here and here, I've just changed and altered how my esophagus that carries my food into my stomach, and then bronchioles that go into my lungs affect not only my TMJ chewing and digestion, but my breathing now. Now my whole breathing, if I had bad posture to begin with, that's something different, but now I've got this going on, and that's my regular pattern. Seriously, stand here, pretend you're texting, try to take a deep breath. I literally can't. I'm gonna hold my breath here. That's as much as I can get. I'm gonna stand up in a good posture and watch how much I can get out of a remaining inhalation. That's huge, people. Okay? So this upper cross syndrome is horrible to begin with. This is Vladimir Yanda, the physical therapist, came out with this decades ago, and he was talking about forward head carriage related to the seated workstation. So texting, if you can, get it up here, especially with the kids, so that at least they have the understanding of where they should be. Work on getting this up. You lift your rib cage up, and you can see my head wants to go and follow where it needs to be. Basically, your ear hole needs to be over the middle of your shoulder joint. So right about in here is where it should be. All right, so teach your kids to do this if they must. I mean, holy smokes. Our kids' brain development is one of the most important things we do for them. Okay, so hopefully texting neck can make some sense. And of course, as mountain bikers, that is not a good thing, particularly when we need to be here and have the ability to be here. Okay, so that puts even more stress on this overstretched tissue to then contract to keep our heads up, and that brings in the whole eye thing, right? We know we're supposed to be looking, you know, however far out in front of the trail, in front where we're going, you know, 20, 30 yards, whatever it is. But when we're used to looking downward, we're training ourselves to look at our front wheel. So consider the neurological training aspect of texting as it relates to where you're looking down the trail and you're mountain biking, because that's huge. You got to retrain yourself, and it's not easy, mind you. So one thing that we can start to do is first I'm going to teach you a stretch, and then I'm going to teach you an exercise. So just simple stretch, it really is. All you're doing, teeth are clenched and relaxed. Just let your head hang back. Pull down this, push this up. Sometimes you can just get a good stretch just pulling down on this and then going back at the same time. Other times you can assist yourself coming up just to stretch all of this. Okay, you can get this whole sternocleidomastoid kind of scaling part by standing square, gently pulling down and back to stretch this with your mouth closed. Same thing, down and back. Then we can go lateral, all the while shoulders are staying still and you're in good head posture on the side ones. And then you can actually do a lift. I'm going to lift the back of my head and tuck my chin at the same time to get those suboccipitals. Okay, so those are simple stretches that I recommend you do every day, maybe even a couple times a day if you're a seated workplace professional. Then, okay, here's my personal cameraman. That would be me. Grab a ball. You can put a ball right into a door frame, and you can do static neck strengthening by standing nice and upright. I place my arm on the other part of the door frame. My head is straight, and I push with this hand. I push into the door frame. 10% effort, and not allowing my head to change position. You can see the ball is now compressed a little bit. I hold that for anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds. Of course, I would turn around and do the same thing on the other side. Then you can go backwards. Here you have to make sure that you're standing upright and a little forward, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to push myself away using that door frame with my head in neutral position. So now I'm lifting the back of my head, tucking my chin a little bit, thinking about the crown of my head going to the ceiling. Again, 10 to 30 seconds. Then we'll hit the front. Same thing here. I'm going to stand under it a little bit with really good posture, good head position. And now I'm going to pull gently in, not letting my head move. So I'm creating tension here. This is a great and simple way to create stability through all of the muscles of your neck, excuse me, and deep spine. Okay, so that is definitely two things you can do, the stretches and then the follow-up with the ball for the strengthening standpoint. And then we're going to do two more. So let's take a walk like we always do. It's like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. We're going to go right to our Swiss ball, and I'm going to get the glare out of the way. So we talked about this part, the dropped part. Part of that is my pec, which attaches here and on the arm, coming together and rounding those shoulders forward. So you can use the Swiss ball for that, or a chair or a bed, doesn't matter. And you're just going to get into this position here, 90-90, and my wrist under my left arm looks like such, off the side of the ball a little bit, 90-degree elbow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my right arm to the floor, shoulder, and I can't go any further there. So I'm going to relax here for 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then contract and push my arm into the ball, 20% effort, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to stop pushing, and you're going to see that I can gain some range here. So here's my new position. I'm going to relax, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax and sink again. Find the new position. Relax in the new position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax, okay? So of course you would do that on the other side. Remember with stretching, hit the tighter side more than the non-tight side till they're equal, okay? Particularly if you've had an injury pattern there. If you've had an anteriorly subluxed shoulder, be careful on this one. You can start with the arm on the ball a little bit more, so just be aware of that. So we go from the pec stretch, and then we go to a lower trap strengthening exercise. The lower trap sits basically right here in the shape of a V, and that's what helps keep our shoulder girdles down and together with this upright chest. The way I do that is, we just call it a prone cobra, because I'm prone laying on the floor, okay? My palms are up, and I'm gonna squeeze them together, my shoulder blades, and down at the same time. Okay, so I'm arched off the floor, palms are up, my head is neutral, I'm squeezing together and down, okay, with my shoulder blades. And you really wanna hold that position for up to a minute at least, but you should feel that in the middle of your upper back, so right in through here. Okay, so again, down and together, palm up, okay? And then one last one you can do is for the rhomboid, and that is, if you take a foam roller, put it vertical, you can go just like this. Put your forehead on it, okay? Back is flat, butt is back. I've got all my weight in my legs, so this is just for reference. And what I'm going to do with my thumbs up is reach up and back down, okay? So it looks like this. So reach up and back down at kind of a 45 degree or so. Even better than this is a bench, a weight bench. You put it on the incline and it sits right about here, which would be a good height for me. But in the end, you're relaxing, squeezing the shoulder blades together, back down. You do about 15 of those. And that'll help strengthen this part of the posture move that you need in order to maintain that good posture. So again, no rounded shoulders, no forward head, and no exponential increase of dysfunction for texting neck. This will hugely make a difference, in my opinion, as it relates to how you breathe, how well you eat, TMJ, head circulation, your ability to concentrate, think, sleep well. I mean, we can go on to the benefits of having good posture and or preventing future disasters, which will be coming here soon enough as the medical industry comes into play, as understanding how bad texting neck is for the human being. So apply the 20 to 30 yard looking down the trail, okay? There's 20 to 30 yards right there with my texting. And please don't text and drive or use your cell phone. I've had somebody close to me actually run into a house lately because they were looking at their phone while driving. All right, D-Tidwell, EnduroMTBtraining.com, where you can find all kinds of resources for training to make you the best mountain biker you can be, which is what my goal is. You guys have a great time. We'll talk to you next time. If you have any questions, info@EnduroMTBtraining.com. Check us out on social at the same, Enduro MTB Training. All right, you guys take care. We'll see you next time. See ya.